I think your latest Facebook live post where you were talking about meditation, talking about the upcoming gigs, which we'll talk about in a minute. You did say in that, and I wrote it down to ask you about it. You did say, quote, there was a few things recently I probably shouldn't have done, end quote. And then a part of that same conversation, you said there was a few things, quote, I shouldn't have said it. Talking about obviously some of the things I'm assuming over the last kind of 6 to 12 months, because that seems to be a time where, at least in the news, maybe I'm wrong because maybe they're not giving an accurate position, that perhaps there was conflict and perhaps there was reports of tweets with Nuremberg hangings being sent to media profiles and that kind of stuff. What were you? Is that the one?
Yeah.
So that's Hilary Barry?
I don't mind calling it Hilary Barry. Like, that's I don't have an issue with that. I had an issue with myself not checking where that photo had come from.
Right.
And not deeply considering the impact that might have for people who would take umbrage at that. And I was upset at myself for posting that. So that's what I really meant, is that I shouldn't have done that. And that's when I think also followed that in that conversation from memory, is that not to say I shouldn't have called out Hilary, because she was just taking the piss out of people going down for their freedom of expression and freedom to gather. And if you checked out her tweet that I responded to, you'd kind of get context of it.
Right.
But they didn't print that in the news, which is interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So I think that's what I meant. I don't like upsetting anyone, man. I'm an empath, and when I hurt other people, I hurt too, and right. It gives me a real, a sense of regret that I did that.
Have you talked to her about that since? Like, have you? I'm not that you don't owe anything to anybody. You don't need to.
No, I don't. And look, I thought I was coming from, because she saw it as a veiled death threat, and I can't relate to that. How someone would see that as a death threat? Like, she actually thinks legitimately that I would murder her? I don't understand that.
Well, if you were to, okay, let's do it this way. If you were to do it again, like to try and say what you were trying to say, but in an appropriate way, like what message were you actually trying to get across?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was probably more saying, can we all please be, but this was responsive to that tweet that I was responding to, right?
Yeah.
That can we please, especially these people who have quite a large influence over quite a large part of the population, can we be really clear and mindful about what we're doing here? Because in my interpretation, and possibly wrong now from my look back on it, this could have people like her in a horrible situation where the general public, once they've woken up to what has potentially happened, coming for her in retribution, or people like her. And so, look, initially it was out of concern, and that very quickly got thrown back on me from Hilary's army of, I don't know, there must have been 2,000 responses also to that. And yeah, I did feel it. I was like, damn, yeah, that was regrettable. And I certainly didn't want her to feel like she's being threatened. And I don't know. I just can't believe she honestly thought that. It seems odd.
Is that really the only one? Like, just because I was, Googling around, there was also an incident with Russell Brown telling him
that
to
was the same day within minutes. Yeah, that was the same. Totally, yeah. Because I just had the picture just come up. I'd been sent that, and I checked the source, man, and that was on me. And I feel like an idiot for not having done that. My cat's just. Yeah, but I certainly should have done that, and I regret doing it with Russell. I'm a big fan of Russell, man, and I just felt like an absolute dick for having done that and made him feel that way. Yeah, it's as simple as that.
So because I don't understand it altogether, right? I'm just an idiot in the bottom of the South Island who likes to talk to people. But what is the connection, if the image was correct, what were you trying to say about people being hung, and I don't want to necessarily bring up that you've said you made a mistake with sending it, but if it was actually what you thought it was, what were you trying to say?
So the mistake I made was not verifying that these people who were allegedly in this photo were the media who propagated what was going on there, and had gone on trial and were hung for propagating that through the media, through mass media.
Right. And so so you thought the image was an image of people in the media being hung.
Yes.
And you sent that to people in the media saying, look out, because this might happen to you. I'm paraphrasing. You're saying as a warning.
Or like as an
as a warning.
Yeah, like, can we all just kind of, I think I was looking for shock value in a sense, but you know, everything just seemed so inverted at that point anyway, man, that
Gotcha.
Maybe it didn't seem as shocking to me at the time until I heard the responses, and I was like, oh man, okay, you need to really check yourself here, Kerrison. Like, that's not cool. So
I don't want to like jump on you for this or continue to do. I'm not we're debating it. We're just talking about it. But if someone sent me an image, like you're saying, the veiled death threats, because I didn't quite understand that part of it. Now I do. And what the image was Nazi war criminals in Ukraine being hung after World War II.
Maybe, I don't know. I still haven't had that confirmed whether it is.
Oh, okay.
But on the interests of waiting to at least find out whether that confirming that or not, it was.
But either way, it was the wrong. It wasn't the image you thought. Either way, it wasn't the image you thought it was.
I don't know.
Okay.
But you know what I mean. So if it had been the media that were in that photo, you're asking, would I still have posted it? Probably not now. Like, in reflection, probably not now.
Yeah. Because look, to be honest with you, I didn't actually. This is brand new information for me, so there's no set up context here. But if someone sent me an image of a whole bunch that they said, look at all these podcasters, they were all shot against the wall for giving misinformation, you should watch out. That could actually feel like a threat to being, you're going to be shot against the wall. So like without,
I get that now.
But when you say you don't see how it could be a veiled death threat, what I'm saying is I can, even though I'm not saying it was, to make that very clear, I can see how if someone sent me that image of podcasters, it could be taken as, I'm not saying it was, I'm not saying it should be, I'm not saying you did it, but it could be taken.
You're right. And look, it's probably more me understanding what veiled death threat means. So that's not saying you're going to murder me. It's saying, hey, this is a veiled death threat here. I get it now, man. And hence the regret, right? But I still don't stand by what she said in the tweet that I responded to. So that's what I mean in terms of that's what I don't regret. I don't mean standing up against people. I don't care what people think of me.
So you're saying that you were calling her out on something you disagreed with. You don't back down from calling her out. You are apologizing and backing away from the inappropriate way you did it.
Certainly. Yeah, that's right.